All right, time to get this thing started here. Today is January 26th, 2022. It's the daily drawing of my Christmas piece. I'm going to be doing it live here on Twitch every Wednesday at 6:30, so if you're around, check it out. If not, catch it on YouTube at a later date. So for today's piece, I'm not going to say what it is, we're just going to get right into it, and I'm pretty sure you'll know what it is as soon as I start sketching it in here. So we're going to go start right off with sketching, and we'll get this thing started here. So, when I was growing up, I always loved catching this one on TV as well. Kind of goes along with what I did last week. How I did the Island of Misfit Toys. This one's another classic. And then there's a little unknown hidden gem that has to do with this guy, which I'll talk about as soon as I get this thing sketched out here. So I like to, my sketches are going to be pretty sloppy. We've already went over all that. I'm kind of a mess when I sketch here. This guy has gotten quite popular in the last few years as well. I mean, I guess he always was popular, but merchandise wise, tons of merchandise has been just flooding the stores, especially this year. It seemed like. Not sure if you could tell what it would be just from that. I guess if I didn't know what it was and I was looking at that, I don't know if I'd be able to get it either. So if not, no big deal. All right, so now we'll work in some of the details here, and then maybe it'll be a little easier to tell who it is. I guess as soon as I want to do this one feature right in this area, you might be able to know. All right, so oops, I don't know what. Every once in a while, I'll bump something on there. I don't know if it's like a multiple finger touch or something, and it switches over to erase, and then I'll end up erasing some of the piece. I'm not sure why I do that. I'm wearing a thing on my hand so I don't bump things, but for some reason it still does that every once in a while. And maybe this little shape of a lip there would give you a clue as to who it is. Then again, the angry face could also do it too, because, it's a Christmas theme, Christmas piece, but yet angry. So I guess you could tell who that would be. A little bit of the Grinch. So with the Grinch, like I said, there's a lot of merchandise has been out this year, a lot more than in the years past. And growing up, it would be one of those things where, like, when you would catch it on TV, it was the greatest thing ever. It'd be like, oh, the Grinch is on, and you'd run out and watch it. Commercial breaks, you'd run out, try to grab a snack real quick, run and go to the bathroom. You always had to be back before it came back on, because obviously I'm old, so we didn't have, rewinding of live TV and all that kind of stuff. But it kind of made it feel a little more special. I guess right now you can watch anything whenever you want, which is cool, but kind of makes things not as special, because I don't really think my kids could really care less if they saw this, I guess, or not, but something I always enjoyed watching. And on the controversial topic of the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, I actually like that one. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but for me, it was enjoyable. I don't know why. I thought it was a good movie. And then I listened to a lot of different, like, Christmas podcasts and stuff like that, and it doesn't really bode too well with people. I don't know why. I bumped that eraser again, but the Jim Carrey one I'm talking about. This one's a classic. And then the one that came out by Illumination was a couple of years ago already. I like that one too. That one was pretty good. I know the last couple of years, Dr. Seuss got thrown under the bus a little bit, but this is a classic Christmas movie. I had a good idea while I was at work today, but I didn't have exactly what I wanted to do, so you will be seeing The Grinch again at some point for another project, but it's going to be a little bit different. I had an idea today. I don't want to spill too much, but just know I'm going to be doing another Grinch piece at some point. At some point this year. It's very Muppet like fingertips, like kind of like I guess that would be like what Grovers look like, how they're like furry monster fingers. I don't know how many fingers the Grinch has, so I'm just gonna kind of give him the bent fingers. I gave him three on the other hand. Who knows how many are on this one? Now I know that one part in the Grinch movie when they talk about like why he's so angry, and they do say at one point that his shoes might be too tight, but I can't recall if they're really tight throughout the whole cartoon. I don't remember, but we're gonna leave him like that. I think his head could use a little bit of a increase in size here. Okay, now we'll shrink him down a little bit. We'll add another layer and go to inking. I think with Dr. Seuss, like the way he did a lot of his sketches was, I don't know, the syrup one is what I'm going to use for the outline, and then a lot of the Dr. Seuss type of sketch lines or some of the other things I'm going to use, maybe a fine tip for that. Let me test the thickness there. All right, so we'll just start with I don't like the way that looked. That's good enough. It gets so pixelated when I have it blown up this big, but makes it a little easier to see. We'll come back and add all these little touches later. Just want to make sure I get all of the base things laid out here, and then we'll go back for the detailing later on. I'm just trying to make sure everything's closed up because I'm going to do the bucket fill to do a lot of the coloring. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not liking the way this is turning out, but it is what it is. Well, I guess since the last episode I did last week on here, it was announced that The Christmas Story is going to be getting a sequel that has um, Randy in it, or Peter Billingsley. So I'm not too sure about how I feel about that. I wonder if they're going to use some of the actual location like they did for the first one. I think that would be kind of neat. All right, so we're going to reference layer that. Now we'll go ahead and add a color layer, then go back and start dropping in some of my crappy lines here. Okay, so with this being the holiday version of the Grinch, make sure I have everything closed up, otherwise I missed his hand there, but I'll just erase that. Not sure where I left it open. Well, that just means that when I go to color the hand in, actually I see it right there. So let me go back there and just fix that. Otherwise it'll haunt me later. Yeah, I think I got it. All right. I think he has red shoes. Then, can't forget the Grinch has some yellow eyes. Obviously left those open, so I gotta fix that. And then we'll go with his Grinch color. Let's see. He's in the newer movie and the Jim Carrey movie. He's a little more on the fluorescent side. In the original one, he's more on the yellowish green side. Let me see if I can. Let's try this color like this out. See how that looks. Let me close the hat, and then we'll think about that color. I don't know if I liked it. All right, let's see. If we go a little more yellow, nah, that's a little too fluorescent-y. Let's drop it down to some green and get back in here. Still a little too fluorescent-like. So I think I was a little too high in the yellow area. That's horrible. Like trying to find the perfect Grinch color. All right, let's see what this area looks like. I think we're gonna leave it there. It's not too bad. Not the best, but it's not too bad. Let's see if we left any openings here. No. Get the other finger. All right. Now we're going to go back to black, go back to the reference layer, add his shirt buttons. Now, when Dr. Seuss did like his, let me see, let me go to fine, maybe technical pen. It's going to be a little bit thicker. All right. So I always like to just layer my shadows in, but he, darker green. All right, let's see. Let's go, let's get back to the green here. Let's see. I'll drop it down here. That's pretty dark, but it's a little too pea green. I don't know. Let me bring it up. We'll leave it. All right, we're gonna switch it up. We'll go with this one. It's a little bit darker. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat there, so I missed that comment. All right, we're gonna leave it there for now. Now we're gonna go back to the outline layer. Anyway, when for me, like what I like to do is lay my shadows on differently, but Seuss was kind of like scribbly about his. I don't know why that's still a little opaque looking, but we'll leave it. But I think I'm gonna do like a few of his like scribbly lines, but then I'm gonna also have to add my type to it just because that's the way I gotta do it. Like it's kind of like a not really like comic book style, a little scratchier. But anyway, so I said earlier about this character being in another movie. There was also a Halloween movie with the Grinch cartoon. I believe it was called I don't know if it was like Halloween is Grinch Day or something like that. Something to that effect. But it's definitely a weird one to watch if you ever get a chance to watch that. It's weird. All right, now we'll add some random hairs. I think I'm going to go back to syrup for that one. The syrup pen. I just like that one better. This might be a little too big. Give him a few whiskers here. Some random hairs. Make sure I was on the right layer there. Back to the old Grover fingers. All right, now I'm going to add a layer of just shadow, but I'm going to put it in between, lighten that up, and then add some of this. There really isn't too much to highlight on the Grinch. Maybe I'll do a little bit, but there isn't really too much to highlight. It's kind of a Simpsons mouth there now that I look at it. All right, I think we're good with the coloring. Everything looks all right for now, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna do with the Grinch. Now for a background, I don't know if I should do. I mean, it is the Grinch. It's kind of sinister. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna draw a background here. Switch it to the red might disappear a little bit because he is red. But I was gonna go with some splatter. Let's see. I don't want it to be. Let me see. And then we'll do a drip. Now, if I do the drip dark red, if I put that might be a little a little too much. We'll put a light one in the background, maybe a brighter one, smaller up there. And then what was the other one? There's burst. I don't know what burst does. Let me try that out. That's a bit much. We'll make it more opaque, and then maybe we'll just put that right behind them. It's a little too opaque. I couldn't really see it. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so then I guess I'm going to add a little bit of something for him to be standing on so he's not just floating there. Go back to syrup, and then we're just going to add, just some ground lines here. It's from the top of, what is it, Mount Crumpet, I believe. I think so. If not, that's a tasty treat. All right, so then we're going to sign it down here. And what was today? The 26th. And that's going to do it. Yeah, Max the dog. That'll be another day. I got to save some stuff. If I plan on doing 365 of these babies, I got to save some characters for another day. So that's the drawing of the Grinch for today. A little bit of the Seuss style mixed with a little bit of mine. But like I said, I'm going to do another Grinch drawing at some point. I had an idea today that I wanted to try. So Now that I'm looking at him, I definitely went a little more Simpson-y with the mouth, where I think, here, let me just add another layer. What I probably should have went with for the Grinch is more of like a taller head like mine. Yeah, we're fine with this. So he's more of a Simpson-y type Grinch for today. But yeah, that's going to about do it for this. And thanks to anyone that's watching live. Ripley, thanks for watching. Hi. And anyone else, if you're catching this later on YouTube, I'll be streaming live every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern time. So until next week, thanks for watching.